Hi, I'm Steve Corona, and I'm going to be the host for this virtual internship. And today I'm talking with Chris Brown, who is the Director of Training for plumbers, steam fitters, HVACR service techs, and it's local 166 here in Fort Wayne. So, Chris, tell me about your program, your apprenticeship program.
Our program's a 5-year program. So you're going to come to work during the day, 5 days a week. You're going to work during the day, and then 2 nights a week you attend classes. Our training center is located here in Fort Wayne off of Ludwig Road, and everybody attends classes 2 nights a week minimum. Our service program takes 3 nights a week, and it follows the Fort Wayne Community School System school year. So you got a summer break, Christmas break, all that good stuff.
So tell me about the selection process. How do I get in?
So we take applications year-round. They're available on our website, ualocal166.org. So once you put an online application in, for your application to be complete, we need 3 supporting documents. We need your sealed high school transcript or GED equivalency, your driver's license, and your birth certificate. When those 3 documents are turned in to us, your application is considered complete. Once your application is considered complete, we're going to schedule you a work keys test with Indiana Workforce Development. And it's going to go over reading, writing, and basic math skills. Everybody that passes the work keys test, we schedule an interview for, and the first round of interviews are in March. And if you're fortunate enough to be ranked in the top 50 from the first round of interviews, we bring you back for a second round, and that's in April. And then we select our apprentices during that second round of interviews. So this past year, for example, we had 43 first-year apprentice requests. So the top 43 from the second round were brought into our apprenticeship program. They typically start the first to second week of June, and they come do 7 days of paid safety training with us at our training center. So we do first aid, CPR, AED training, basic tool training, OSHA 10 training, and lift, ladder, and fall protection training. And that's all done before they're dispatched out to their contractors.
So what are some essential skills and qualities that you're looking for?
Our most important skill set to us is soft skills. We can take you from an individual that knows nothing about the piping industry and turn you into a tradesperson, a craftsman. What we can't teach you is to come to work every day, come to work on time. So work ethic, reliability, and to have a strong desire to learn. Those are the things that an individual needs to bring to us. We will supply everything else.
How does an applicant prepare for this selection and interview process?
So if you're a high school student, I recommend taking any type of construction trade classes available to you in high school, any type of drafting, engineering classes, architectural classes, even agricultural classes, because we work outside, we work in the elements, sometimes we work inside. If you've already graduated high school and you're in some kind of post-secondary education, Ivy Tech has a real good plumbing, HVAC program. Impact Institute has very cheap adult classes in the evening. So there's several different ways, but what you want to do is have something to make you stand out from the other herd of applicants. So some type of something that shows you're interested in this type of profession.
During the apprenticeship period, 5-year period, what's the pay like from year 1 through year 5?
So currently our first-year apprentices start out at $14.44 an hour with full health care. It's 80-20 health care for themselves, their spouse, and any dependents. And then as their skills and their on-the-job training hours progress, because our apprenticeship's based on 2 factors, you have to do well in the classroom and on the job site. You get a raise every year, your first and second year, and then once you become a 3rd-year apprentice, you start to get 2 raises per year. And currently our journeymen make $36.11 an hour, and they have 2 pensions and an annuity plus health care, and our total package for a journeyman is right around $55 an hour.
So I know you just mentioned this, but let me ask it again. What are the benefits that generally come with the pay?
So healthcare, you can't, as we know today, especially with some of the recent things that have been in the news, healthcare is very expensive. So to have healthcare for you and your spouse and your dependents, whether you have 1 or 100 dependents, the healthcare cost is the same, which is pretty unheard of. You also get access to our local 166 healthcare clinic, which is attached to our building, where we have 2 doctors, a nurse practitioner, and some nurses. And anything you go there for, or anything your family goes there for, there's no out-of-pocket cost and there's no co-pays. You also have 2 pension plans. So if you work 25 to 35 years in the trade, you'll be making real similar when you go to retire based on 40 hours a week, which is real well, and our pension funds are in real good shape. And an annuity is like our 401k, but instead of having a contractor match what you put into it, you just put either $1.50, $2.50, or $3.50 into that, and that grows substantially over your career. So real good retirement. You're going to be able to retire with a good standard of living.
Tell me a little bit more about the training. Is this online? Is it hands-on? Is it paper and pencil, book learning?
So our teaching philosophy is 60% hands-on, 40% theory, book work. So when you come to our training facility, we've done everything to create a 3-story house inside, where the middle floor is 14 kitchen groups and the top floor is 4 bathroom groups, and the first floor represents a commercial building of steel sand pit. We have a full plumbing service classroom, 30 weld booths, full HVAC lab, solder braze lab. So we want you to touch it, see it, break it, put it back together, because that's how we learn. And then there is some unavoidable. You need to know the theory behind why things work the way they do. So there is some theory classes. We do 4 online classes with our affiliate Ivy Tech. Because when you are done with our apprenticeship program, you will also receive a 2-year associate's degree in applied science through Ivy Tech at no cost to the apprentice. So there is some book work, but primarily it's very much so hands-on. That's the type of individuals we're looking for, is those that enjoy learning hands-on, touching, seeing, doing. That's how the majority of us learn. So.
What are the duties and responsibilities of each apprentice?
The number one priority of an apprentice is to learn the piping industry, to listen to their journeyman, and to have a strong desire to learn. Your duties may change every day. One day you might be installing a massive plumbing system for a school or a factory. The next day you might be working on a milk or an ice cream line, because you'd be surprised what goes through pipes. Our trade is very, very broad, so there is no average day, one might say. You could be on a job that lasts a year and a half. You could be on a job that lasts 2 hours. So, and then maybe you're on multiple jobs during the day. So,
during the apprenticeship period, what's a typical work day, work week like?
Typically, our jobs start either at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. And they're located anywhere in the 14 northeastern counties of Local 166. So we cover the Michigan line, the Ohio line, down to Gas City, over to Wabash, Elkhart area. So we're pretty centrally located in Fort Wayne, but you could be driving to Elkhart. You could have a job in Fort Wayne. The nice thing of construction is no job lasts forever. So as that one job is completed, you move on to the next one. But typically an 8-hour day would be 7 to 3:30. A 10-hour day would be 6 to 4:30. And some of our fabrication shops tend to start a little earlier than that. Overtime's not mandatory, but we always recommend that it's best to work the overtime while it's available, because it's not always going to be there, and it's nice to put some money away.
So what is the most important aspect for an apprentice to understand?
Most important aspect for an apprentice to understand is they are there to learn. They need to listen to their journeyman. That's who's going to keep them safe and who is responsible for them. And you should always strive to advance your career in the trade. That's the most important part of an apprentice's responsibilities.
How do you evaluate performance?
We have several hold points in our apprenticeship program, where before they advance throughout their apprenticeship, all 5 years, they have certain classes that they have to pass. A lot of those classes come with certifications, and to make sure that everybody has the same skill set as their fellow peers, classmates, we want to make sure that they're able to obtain those certifications. So if you don't pass those classes and obtain those certifications, you may repeat that class, or you may repeat that year of your apprenticeship. So we try and make it so that it's a very high standard for our program. We must be doing something right. We've experienced massive growth over the last 10 years. We actually have more apprentices in our program than we ever have. So we're averaging about 10% growth right now.
Wow.
So,
Chris, what does success look like?
Success for an apprentice would be they graduate the program. They are now a DOL licensed journeyman, DOL being the Department of Labor. So they can work anywhere in the United States, Canada, Australia, Germany, and a few other countries I forget, and they're a licensed journeyman in whatever profession they decide to go down in the piping industry. They can provide a high standard of living for their family, and they have the certification and skills necessary to stay employed year-round. That's success for us, while at the same time building strong pensions and annuities so they can retire with dignity.
I'm struggling in the program. What successes can you provide me?
If you're struggling in the program, we're probably going to have a heart-to-heart talk, see what's going on. Usually it's personal issues that are, we all have personal problems, and we might get you in touch. We have counseling, whether that's substance abuse or if it's family matters, available through our health and welfare program. If it's an academic problem or an issue, we might get you a tutor. All of our instructors are journeymen from the field, and all of them want you to succeed. So if it's a particular aspect of the trade you're struggling with, we'll get you in contact with that instructor who teaches that.
Not everyone completes the program.
Nope, we have about an 85% graduation rate. That goes to do with our high standards.
Based upon those individuals who don't complete the program, what do you think are the biggest challenges in completing the apprenticeship program?
It's a heck of a commitment. Your family needs to be behind you in this matter. You're going to work maybe a 10-hour day, driving an hour one way to work, an hour one way back, and then you got to come to class that night. School is not optional, it's mandatory, and you're going to wake up and do it again the next day. So again, a lot of the reasons why people don't complete the program is the soft skills, the work ethic, coming to work every day, even when you don't want to, even when you're tired and when it's a little dreary outside, you still need to come to work. So 9 times out of 10, that's the majority of the issues we have, is just you got to come to work.
So once I complete the apprenticeship program, what's the next opportunity?
Oh, there's a lot of different paths. So typically when somebody graduates and becomes a journeyman, they'll stay working the journeyman aspect of the trade for anywhere between maybe 2 or 3 years, maybe longer. If they choose, they can become a foreman, general foreman, superintendent, an AutoCAD detailer, where you're going to design the entire project in a digital platform. And then now with the new Trimble units and some of the more higher end technology, there's a lot of possibilities going down there. Project managers, and if someone's wanting to, the union would even help them create their own company, subsidize their wages for a little bit.
Is that a typical career path for people?
Leadership is definitely something that we try and push people into. But at the same time, some people just want to be regular journeymen, do their job during the day, go home, and they're quite happy with that, and we need people like that too.
Are there professional organizations, advanced education or training that could be beneficial for this field?
Yes, if you're in high school, any kind of construction classes, if you're interested in welding while you're in high school or even after high school, becoming a member of AWS, the American Welding Society, is real strongly recommended. We also tend to see that people who become Eagle Scouts tend to have good work ethic. People that play lots of sports in high school, activities, even just having a summer job while you're a high school student where you can get some work history behind you. Doesn't matter if you're working at McDonald's or if you're working in some type of construction industry. It is something that you understand what it's like coming to work every day and showing up on time and having responsibilities. And then any type of secondary educational classes, whether that's at an Ivy Tech or any of the other four-year institutions, also helps as well.
So I'm in middle school, I'm in high school, I'm watching this video. What advice do you have for that person?
So the reason why we want your sealed high school transcript is we're going to look at your math grades, primarily algebra. You need to be able to add, divide, subtract fractions. That's what we do every day. And you also need to have a basic understanding of algebra, because a lot of our formulas in the piping industry use algebra. Also, what we're looking at is how many days you've missed school and how many days you're tardy. Because what we're going to offer you is a $50,000 to $70,000 scholarship. And if you have trouble coming to high school and maintaining decent grades, then you make the committee that I work for nervous about investing $50,000 to $70,000 into you. So,
final advice. What's your story? How did you get into this?
I completely fell into it. Nobody came and talked to me when I was in high school about what a pipe fitter, a plumber, or HVAC tech was. I graduated. I always enjoyed working with my hands, building things. I was working at a golf course as a greenskeeper. My parents knew someone that needed some warehouse help at a company called Current Mechanical, and I worked my way up from the very bottom as a warehouse helper up to a truck driver, to a metal tradesman, to a helper, to a first-year apprentice, foreman, general foreman, so on and so forth, to where I'm at now. So again, you can climb as high as you want in our organization. It's just about some work ethic and some drive and the ability to want to better yourself.